In this episode of Super Seicento, I'm gonna strut my stuff. Hello you lot, Miller Corner here and welcome back once again to Super Seicento. And the theme of today's video is little jobs that I haven't got round to yet that don't make enough of a video on their own, but together they might well do. So stop the music because this is going to be a Disrespected Evo style episode of Super Seicento. We're going to have no music, no voiceover, no real fancy edits. This is just going to be a day of one fix and a couple of little improvements on this car that I've been meaning to get round to. And we're going to start round the back. The rear seat delete's done, the rear arches are carpeted, it looks fantastic inside the back of the car, but actually getting to it, not quite so glamorous, as you'll see if I open the tailgate. Don't know if you heard that squeak there, these struts have pretty much had it. They squeak every time you open and close the tailgate. They do take a while to actually get it the full height up, and if you run your finger down it, they are weeping a little bit, a surefire sign that you do need new boot struts. Thankfully, I have taken the liberty of buying some new boot struts, and unlike when we did this on the GTV, I've checked before and made sure that these are actually the right ones. So without further ado, let's get these fitted and get this boot going up smoothly, staying up and not squeaking every single time I want to get in the boot. Right, if you watched when we did this on the Alpha, you know it's a relatively easy job to do, even if you're doing it in the boot of a GTV that doesn't like you. And on a Seicento hatchback, it's an even easier job to do. The only trouble is, when you take one strut out, invariably the tailgate does want to squash you. So we're going to need to try and do this fairly smoothly. And this being me, I am the master of doing things elegantly and not in any way awkwardly, so we're going to see how this one goes. Right. Screwdriver behind the clip like we did last time. And that is now off. And from the boot rubber is now out, which means this can go in the bin. So now we can do this one. New one goes on. You do have to squeeze it behind the boot rubber rather, but we are going to make it work. Oh, sorry mate, can you just hold that for a sec? Sorry, trying to get that new strut. When it's only got one on, it's not very strong. Let's get it behind the rubber. There we go. The only awkward bit of this is you can't do it on your own.
You've had this for a long time, this one, haven't you?
It's 4 years I've had it now in total.
It's your favourite, isn't it?
Oh, I love it. It's never going anywhere. You just prop it up a little bit more.
It's like my cousin worked on my car today. She said, why don't you sell that piece of shit? And I went, that piece of shit is something I love.
This is it, isn't it? It doesn't matter what it is if you like it. This is what I say to people. Like when I worked at McDonald's with this, the amount of, you know, flack you get from people of, oh, why don't you sell it, whatever. It's like, well, I love it. It's my car.
And how many cars have they bought since?
This is it. And how many cars have they bought, or have they just financed it and they don't actually own it? Or is
I think you need to give it a big whack.
Oh, there we go. The clips actually move around in there. That's what it was. I don't think it's... Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Right, just let go of it for a second. Yeah, there we go. Smashing. That should do it. Lovely. Cheers, boss.
Oh,
yeah, cheers for that. Strutty. So you inadvertently just met Richard, my neighbour. Rich, if you do watch my videos, which I don't know if you do, thanks for holding the tailgate while I put my new boot strut on. There we go. Old strut is off and very leaky. It's actually getting crap all over my hand, which is fun. It's worth checking at this point, obviously, that you do have the right ones for your car, which the Alpha, I rather fell victim to that. Right, come on, Sam. There we go, that's on. Brute force and ignorance, as they say. There we go. Like a charm. Without wishing to sound like one of those lame infomercials you see on TV, I can now wave goodbye to the misery of having a tailgate that squeaks and takes ages to come up, because, oh, that's genuinely quite strong. It goes all the way down, and those are really strong. Nice. One improvement made, and old, knackered, leaky struts can go in the bin. Now we're moving inside, and in the summer, which is when the Super Seicento gets most of its use as a B-road bashing machine, one of the things about this car that continues to irritate me ever since I've owned one, the sunroof. Now, me personally, I hate sunroofs, frankly. I don't think they add anything to the experience of using it. They leak, they make noise, they rattle, and frankly, they add weight to the roof, which just isn't needed. I hate them. But the Seicento one goes even further than that. This does pretty much nothing to stop any sun or any heat or any light coming through it. And as you can see, there's no sliding cover or anything like that. And that means that in the summer, particularly in really hot weather, this is not pleasant in the slightest. Thankfully, it's fairly easily rectified. This is a factory Fiat sunroof cover, and this just slots over where the sunroof is in the roof to keep the light out, keep the heat out, and basically all those things that I was just whinging about. I don't actually know where these come from though, because whenever you see pictures of people's online, they always came from the factory strapped to the back of the rear seats. Now, I don't have rear seats anymore, but neither my old car nor my new one came with one of these from the factory. And there wasn't even a strap or anything to suggest that it had been there. Was it an option? Is it a rare extra? I don't know. If you do know, let me know in the comments. But anyway, we've got this one and it's going to do just the job of blocking out this thing's bloody problems. So from what I can see, we've got these two plastic sort of hook areas which this needs to slot into. And because I can't see it, this is going to be done through feel alone, but that does feel like we've got some purchase somewhere. That feels about right. That's good. That's got it. I think, yep, that's good. Let's screw it in. Aha! I felt something bite there. If you feel something bite, what you do is keep going. I think we're going to need a screwdriver for this because we've got a massive kind of six-sided screw head on it and this is going to take ages to do it by hand. Stand by. Massive screwdriver, do your thing. Aha, there we go. There we go. Now there's those 2 feet on the underside, so I'm thinking we just keep going until we feel them start to get purchase. That is nowhere near. Update, that bit there was slightly bent in transit presumably, so I've bent it back out to be straight and now that is properly solid and looks the business. Winner. This next one is an entertainment and practicality mod rolled into one. This JVC head unit actually came in my old Seicento, the O2 shell, and it does the job. Frankly, it plays CDs. Obviously, it's got USB in, it's got aux, and it's generally not bad. I listen to CDs because I still live in the 1990s, but it is 2020, and occasionally I do like to listen to music through my phone or take a phone call, and for that, this head unit is not going to cut it. You can get a Bluetooth adapter so you can convert this one to run Bluetooth, but it costs about 60 quid, and that is twice the price that I paid for this, a second-hand Pioneer head unit which does all the stuff that this one does, but I've also got the benefit of Bluetooth and a nice shiny knob. Before you take your old head unit out, it's probably a good idea to make sure you haven't got any CDs left in it if you're still old-fashioned enough to be using physical media. I've taken my Taylor Swift CD out because I'm incredibly manly, and then we can take it out using the incredibly high-tech method of reaching behind it and giving it a shove, at which point it will then slide its way out of the car. Unplug the aerial lead comme ça and unplug the ISO connector like so. Ta-da! The new one seemed to come with some kind of adapter lead on it. I don't actually know what this is for because it does run the same connector as that just runs from the factory. I'll keep hold of it, but I'm not quite sure what this is. System remote control. That to me sounds like it's for plugging into a specific car to use for steering wheel controls or something. So if you happen to own a Hyundai Coupe, because that's what the previous owner of this head unit owned, and you fancy an adapter for a random Pioneer head unit, get in touch. It's probably worth noting at this point, I can't take phone calls through this just yet because I do need a microphone that plugs in just here on the back of the head unit. I don't have a microphone to hand and I haven't really worked out where I'm going to route it anyway. So at a later date, I will be buying one, routing the wire back here and putting a microphone in here somewhere. But for now, I'm more interested in just being able to listen to Bluetooth music. So, what the hell connector is that? The hell? What the hell? This connector is weird. The actual shape of the connector is right, but the plug is weird. Are you supposed to hook that over or something? What? Are these the same plug? I'm not sure these are the same plug. The hell plug is that then? Does that fit in there then? What the hell connector is that then? What the hell? Has this got some sort of adapter lobe on it? It looks like to run the old JVC unit, there was this adapter on the stock Seicento loom, which converts it into a plug that runs the old one. Hang on a minute. I haven't thought this through at all, have I? That's what it is, you muppet. Oh, what a dipstick. I was just about to say the wiring's wrong. It actually looks like it's not, and I'm a That adapter loom goes onto the factory harness to adapt onto the new stereo. This shows how not often I do stereo stuff, doesn't it? So, that adapter is not for a Hyundai Coupe. It's just for a car. Well done, idiot. Anyone who's used any European car ever, certainly French or Italian in my experience, will know that the wiring consists of about 3mm for the entire radio setup. So no surprises here that you have to go incredibly close to get it plugged in. I've no idea what you can see at this point, but take my word for the fact that stuff is happening that's exciting. Behold, new head unit installed in the Super Seicento, and I've snagged a bit of paper behind it or something. Hang on. Most of this is staying in, by the way, because the whole point of Disrespected Seicento is that you live through the struggles that you actually have to do. I struggle, so you're struggling with me. That almost feels in. I think we might have a bit of wiring trapped behind it or something. That's better. That's a proper good fit, that is. Let's fire her up. This is my favourite channel, the static channel, listen. Yep, that's everyone's favourite channel, that one. Now, I could, of course, flick through the stations and show you that it works on more stations than just the static channel, but unfortunately copyright would completely destroy my YouTube channel. So next we're going to show you how to connect your phone to it. Here's a pro tip. If you buy a second-hand head unit with no instruction manual, just take a note of what the model number is and Google it, because most of the manufacturers know that you're not going to keep hold of the manual if you pass it on to someone else, so they put all the instructions on their website, Pioneer being particularly good for this. So, we're going to see how to connect to Bluetooth. So you turn the Bluetooth on of the device, then you press phone to display the phone menu, and then turn the MC dial to select Bluetooth setting, add device, device full. It would appear the previous owner had a BlackBerry connected to this. Someone still owns a BlackBerry apparently. Add device, searching, 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 and my Bluetooth is on my phone. Aha! Joe's iPhone has been found, so we're going to select pairing with this. There we go. And that means now that we've got Bluetooth audio going on, if I press source, Spotify, app, Bluetooth audio, there we go. We can now watch my YouTube videos on my stereo. This is my favourite. This is about the one where he does the thing with the yellow car, like he does in every video. Hello, you lot. Miller Corner here. And that's about enough of that bloody idiot droning on. So there you have it, new head unit installed in the Super Seicento with fantastic Bluetooth that allows you to listen to my videos in your car. Alternatively, you could listen to some good music that isn't copyrighted so you don't get a copyright strike on your YouTube channel. And there we have it, a couple of simple little fixes and mods on the Super Seicento that on their own wouldn't really have made a video. But together, they've made a great episode of Disrespected Seicento. Now I've got new boot struts on so the boot actually stays up, goes up quicker and doesn't make that awful groaning noise every time you touch it. I've got a radio with Bluetooth, which means I can tune my phone into it, listen to my music, and when I install a microphone in it, I can take phone calls on it as well. Yes, we really are living in the future. And now I've got this awesome sunroof cover in place. I'll neither be blinded nor boiled when the sun comes out, which, it's not done today. Really? We haven't done anything major mechanical recently because the majority of our time at the moment is taking up with redecorating the sitting room, so I haven't really had the time to take this thing into the workshop and take it all to pieces. But rest assured, in the short and long term, there will be plenty more mechanical stuff and loads of other mods to come on this mad little nugget. But for now, thanks very much for watching, everybody, and have a brilliant rest of your day. Catch you soon, and have a good one.